Hello and welcome to our video on formatting a paper in APA style. Today we're going to take a look at how to set up your title page and header using the guidelines from the American Psychological Association's publication manual, the 7th edition. So the first thing that we want to do to get started with setting up our title page and header is to open a new document. In this case, we're using Microsoft Word, so we'll go ahead and start a new blank document now. However, if you're using Google Drive or OpenOffice, please keep in mind that you can generally follow along with these steps, but things might be in a slightly different place. And please keep in mind our resources on using Google Drive or OpenOffice, as that may help you with formatting your paper. So the first thing that I like to do when setting up a new title page, as soon as I've opened my document, I like to change my font to Times New Roman, size 12. An alternate font, if you do not have Times New Roman, is Arial size 12, so you can use either one of those to format your paper. In this case, in college environments, Times New Roman is preferred. However, if you do not have Times New Roman included in your font package, Arial is an acceptable alternative font. By going ahead and changing my font as soon as I open my document, I can ensure that anything that I type in my title page or from this point on will be formatted in Times New Roman size 12 font. So I don't have to worry about one line being in one font and another line appearing in another font, or things changing midway through my document, because I've already gone ahead and set my font to Times New Roman. So everything that I type from this point in the main part of my title page will be in Times New Roman. The next thing that I like to do is go ahead and set up my header. So I can click into the top inch of my paper, and that will open both the header. We can see that's marked here. It says header, and everything above this dotted line is included as the header of our paper. And clicking into this top inch of our document also opens our header and footer tools, where you can find many items that can help you with formatting, including inserting your page number, to make things a little bit easier. So the first thing that we'll go ahead and do with our header is to insert that page number. Now in my APA 7th edition, we want to include our page number in the upper right-hand corner of our header. So I'm going to go ahead and select page number and then top of page, because I want my page number to be in my top header and not in my footer at the bottom of my document. And I will go ahead and choose plain number 3, because this will give me just a page number on the right side of my document, because we do not need the word page or any underlining or any colored text or anything like that. We just want the page number. So if I click on plain number 3, it will insert my page number into my header for me. We can see that 1 on the right side. When I scroll down to my second page, we should see that number change to 2, 3 on your third page, and so on. Now, while I'm still in my header area, we can see that since I've inserted the page number, there's now a blinking cursor next to that page number. That makes it very easy for me to go ahead and include the title of my paper. So when including the title of your paper in APA style, you'll place this title in all capital letters in your header, and you'll include the full title or up to the first 50 characters, including words and spaces, if your title is particularly long. So I'm going to go ahead and type the title of my paper now. Now we want our title to be included on the left side of our header and our page number to remain on the right side of our header. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my tab key a couple of times, and that will move my title over to the left side while keeping that page number on the right side. The last thing that I want to do before I close out of this header is to highlight all of the text that I have here. We can see again that we need to change our font so that it is Times New Roman, size 12, or Arial size 12. We want to have the same font consistently throughout the body and the headers of our paper. So make sure that you're either using Times New Roman size 12 consistently or Arial size 12 consistently. Now the next thing that I want to do is make sure that my information on my title page, like my title, my name, all of that, is centered, and that my document is double spaced. So from our paragraph options here on our home screen, we can go ahead and choose center alignment. That'll center the title page information for me. And then I can, under line and paragraph spacing, I can choose 2.0 line spacing. Now that should give me double spacing throughout my document. However, sometimes Word inserts extra spaces before or after each line. So it's always a great idea to double check and make sure that you have true 2.0 line spacing. From under the same line and paragraph spacing area, I can select line spacing options. And then down under spacing, I want to make sure that my line spacing is set to double. And then my spacing before and after are set to 0 points. So here we can see that Word has automatically set my spacing to after each line to 8 points. So I want to go ahead and change that to 0. And that will make sure I don't have any extra space included between the items in my title page or like after paragraphs throughout my paper. Now once I've included those items, I've adjusted my spacing, I've got my header the way I want, I have my font set the way I want, we're going to go ahead and set up our title page. So we can space 1/3 of the way down the page, and that's 1/3 of the way from the top of the page. So more or less about here. And we'll want to go ahead and include the title of our paper. In this case, our title will be bold, but we'll see that it is placed in normal capitalization. So we only include the title in all capital letters when it's included in our header. Otherwise, we just want to include our title with normal capitalization and a bold font. It does not need to be underlined or italicized or anything like that, just capitalized normally and placed in a bold font. Following that title, I will include one extra line of space. This is a change made in APA in the 7th edition. So your title is included on one line, then you have a line of space, and then you will include your name. Careful not to hit the caps lock key because we want to include only our name in regular capitalization. Following that, we will go ahead and include our institution. In this case, we have the Christ College of Nursing and Health Sciences, because that is the full name of our organization. If you were writing a paper for the hospital or the health network, you would instead have the Christ Hospital Health Network as your organization, but we always want to include that full name of our organization. From that point, we're going to go ahead and include our course name and section number. So that could be English 101, Section A, whatever your course is referred to as, in the course information or in SONUS, we'll include that information here. You'll want to include your instructor's full name, and then we'll want to include the due date in the month, day, year format. So now that I've included all of these items on my title page is good to go. And I can actually go ahead and use this as a modifiable template for any time I need to start a paper in APA style. If I go ahead and change, my name to fill in my name, all I would have to do is change the title of my paper, the course name and section number, the instructor, and the due date anytime I need to complete a new assignment. And I can ensure that my double spacing, my font, all of those formatting items will remain the same because I've already set them up here. We do want to make sure to set up our second page as well because we're going to repeat some of this information, and we want to check and make sure that our header has copied properly from our first page to our second page. So from this point, we'll go ahead and just space down. You can hit the Enter key a few times until it takes you to the second page of your document. And here we can see our header has copied successfully. So we have the title of our paper included on the left side, and we have the page number, which we see here is updated to page number 2. It's included on the right side. The next thing that I want to do to prepare my second page for starting my paper is to bold my font again and include the title of my paper with regular capitalization and again bolded like we saw it on our title page. From this point, I can go ahead and space down to the next line. I'm going to want to make a couple of changes before I get started with my first paragraph. I no longer need for my font to be bold, so I'm going to unclick that. And since we're starting the body of our paper, we want to use left alignment instead of centered alignment so that our paragraphs are aligned properly. So I'll go ahead and back over to these paragraph options and choose Align Left. You see that moves my cursor over to the left side of my document. And then to get started with my introductory paragraph, I want to hit the Tab key one time to indent 1/2 of an inch, and I can begin the first sentence of my paper. From here, I can then start to develop paragraphs, remembering to indent every time I start a new paragraph, and it should retain that 2.0 line spacing and our Times New Roman size 12 font throughout our paper. If you want to go ahead and get extra prepared, we can space down to the next page and prepare for our reference page. So in APA style, anytime we cite a source within our paper, it will need to correspond with a longer citation on a reference page at the end of our paper. And while I'm going ahead and setting up a template that I can use for any paper in APA style, I like to go ahead and set up a space for my reference page. That way I can include references as I'm working on a project, and I have that reminder there so that I don't forget that I need to include them at the end. So all that we need to do to set up where our references page will go is, again, space down to that next blank page. We can see here again our header has copied over, so we have our title in the left side and our page number on the right side. And then I'll center again and include my heading of references, bold, and now I'm ready to include any citations that I may need. So with these 3 pages, I'm fully set up to format my paper in APA style. We see we have our title page, which has all of our identifying information. We have our header set up on our title page as well. On our second page, we can see we're ready to begin the first sentence of our paper and begin constructing those paragraphs. We have our header set up here as well. And then on our third page, we have room to begin including our references. So if I save a copy of this, I can go ahead and hit Save As. And I can include in this document as an APA template. Then anytime that I would need to format a new paper, I can come back into this template and change the items on my title page to reflect the information for that course. All right, well, thank you for joining us for this tutorial on how to format a paper in APA style. Please keep in mind that if you have any questions regarding formatting, the 7th edition of the American Psychological Association's publication manual does review these items in detail, and you can always tweet APA at APA style, and they will often get back to you with links to videos or blog resources for any question that you might have.